So it's almost Halloween, and I was just wondering who's got a spooky story to tell? Guess I'll go first. Hi, my name's Leah Syme, and if you look right here, this is me in this photo, and this is my friend. We'll call her Joy. Here's her head, her little spirit head. There's one eyeball, there's the other. She's in her nose, she's kind of looking off this way. She looks like a little bubble head. And this guy right here with the cape, this is my buddy Azrael, otherwise known as the Angel of Death. Here's his belt, and it's going in line with my shoulders. Now, maybe you guys recognize this picture. You can check it out on YouTube. That's where I got it. It's actually The Greatest Showman. This is me. It's the movie clip. And the story about how I got in that movie is kind of a fun one. To start out background, I had this really hard life. I had an abuse cousin. I flipped my letters around in school, so my teacher said that I was, well, she faked a document to say that I was retarded so that she wouldn't lose her end of the year bonus by getting low school classroom scores. That's how they did it. And I had a really, really hard life. So when I was about 5, I decided enough with this and this abuse from my cousin. I just decided to stand in front of a train, and God saved my life. And that was the first time I actually saw the Angel of Death. And God kept saving my life lots of times, like almost 40 times, maybe more now over the years. In this particular instance, God asked me to go down to Honduras with my church, and it was 2004, and oh my goodness, I was pregnant almost 5 months. I did not want to leave my son because I was in this really bad relationship with my ex-husband, and he was like, you need to go. I'm like, I don't have the money. Somebody in our church donated the money. I didn't have my passport, and my husband wouldn't give it to me at that time until like 5 days ahead of time. So he gave it to me on Sunday, and Friday night it showed up, but he wouldn't go get it. So I asked God what to do, and God said, go 2 hours early to the FedEx office. And lo and behold, the lady was there. She's like, oh my God, I felt like the voice of God woke me up in the middle of the night, said I had to come in. So she was there, and I got down on the plane, and we were working at the Loma de Luz area. It's a hospital for like the poorest people in Honduras, and it was really, really run down. You just don't know that until you go to one of those places. But to see the smiles on those faces of the kids we gave some school supplies to, we helped out on the building, we ended up unloading the truck in like 3 hours, and usually took 3 days. So the director was saying that was a miracle. It was like me and this other skinny guy, and we were teasing some other people there into goading them into helping us unload this truck. And then on the last day, my friend Joy says, oh, one of these local ladies asked me to go to her house, and I knew God wanted me to go with, because she didn't know a lick of Spanish whatsoever. And she's one of those sweet ladies, just, doesn't ever understand that people can be really horrible. Not like I can understand that. And so we got on a bus, a little school bus, and it started going, and it went over three rivers that were not little stream rivers. We're talking like big rivers on this dirt road. And then it stopped about 45 minutes later to an hour later, and we got off, and this lady was bringing us to her house, and she had 14 kids, and she was offering us bananas and fried bananas, and it was just really sad because the kids were starving. And my friend, she was so sweet, she's like, oh, I got $20, can I give it to her? I'm like, nope, because that'd be really bad manners. So we left. Actually, she started freaking out and crying in Spanish. This local lady. She's like, oh my gosh, God protect them, and if they die, it'll be all my fault, and they have to get back. And I was like, oh no. Of course, Joey's sitting there going, what's she? Oh, she's like really, praying hard. And I'm like, yeah, she's really praying to God for us. Because, both of us freaking out would have been a really bad thing. And so then all of a sudden, Azrael shows up. I mean, you always know when death shows up. Number one, he's like, brings in this freezing cold air. I don't know. I guess he opens up a dimension door or something into outer space, but it gets freezing. And even if people can't see him, they always notice that it's chilly. And then it smells like kind of like a dead mouse that's been lying around in your wall for a while. It's just awful. Not real strong, but just kind of there. And then sometimes people will notice that all the color leaches out of everything. It just kind of turns gray. So I could actually see him. And he speaks with telepathy. So he starts harassing us, and we're walking back, and he decided to entertain us by playing songs in our heads and hitting on me, which I don't even want to go into right now. But he brought us to all these different movie sets when we were tired. And you know how they say in the Bible, God's people soar on wings, they'll walk but not go weary. And so the angels can just kind of basically put our bodies on auto drive and take our souls to other places so we can basically walk and not have to feel it. So we're doing that, and we went to all these song sets. We went to just a whole bunch, but at one point he brought us into the movie The Greatest Showman, and he's playing some songs from there, and he was like, oh, this is the best song ever. It was This Is Me, is one of his favorites, all-time favorites, he said. And it was kind of funny because the director was there, and he was this kind of large, very important individual. I'm important. That kind of important individual. And he didn't know the actors' names, so we would call them by their colors. He'd be like, red, or brown. But there was this one woman who was really a good actress, and she was wearing red, so he's always like, red this, red that. At one point I was kind of like dancing behind her because we were dancing along with everybody, and he's like, red, get back into position. And she's like, I thought there was somebody behind me, and I'm feeling really bad right now. And he goes off on them. He's just like, what do you think? Like, this place is really haunted, and there really are spirits. It's like, maybe we should just invite them to come here, or maybe I should have Death, the angel of death, sing in the ensemble while you're at it. And Death's just standing there going, don't mind if I do. So he's so snarky. I mean, you gotta be with all of us, like, freaking out and cussing him out every time he shows up and tries to help us, which was part of his problem. He's just kind of going through a midlife crisis. I don't want to do this anymore. This job sucks. And, the worst job on the planet. I mean, what do you say? I just apologize on behalf of everybody ever. And we kept going. But we were singing in that last song, and the movie camera was going, and he had all the actors just stand there with their arms raised like this, and we got so tired. I started bringing my arms down. I couldn't handle it anymore, and it went on and on and on. I think that's the only reason why we actually showed up that day, because I looked at some of the other songs. It took us about 6 hours to get back, so there were a lot of songs he played. He started with that song Iris, and he ended with Before You Go. And he played, at one point I was trying to tell him that he was really more like, Super Death, Guardian of Our Souls, and he takes us to the set, and it was Superman Fly for Flying, and the first thing he sings is, I can't stand to fly. Oh, poor guy. Anyway, we were heading back, and the whole reason why he was watching over us was because about halfway through, my friend Joy decides that she's really hot and tired and thirsty and wants to sit down and get a drink of water or something from the local tienda, with her $20. And we're in this destitute area where that was probably about worth 2 months worth of wages. So I was like, put that away. They won't have the money to give you, and they'll probably steal it from us later. And I didn't tell her all the other awful stuff that they had done, because I knew it would happen. But we made it, and then death stayed with us. So if we didn't make it back till nightfall, I guess all the hooligans would have come out. Yeah, two rich, spoiled American women. And all clothing, half the people wandering around didn't even have shoes on. So that kind of gives you an idea of how impoverished the area was. We had no business walking around by ourselves. And we got back, and it was okay. And, Death's still trying to help us out. So I guess he's kind of okay. I told him that he should, do like Santa Claus does, take care of it all in one night, do a year's worth of work in one night, and then, go on a vacation or take a sabbatical or something. So I guess he's doing that. But that's my story for today. And if you have one you want to go ahead and add in the comment sections, you can like my videos, you can ask me. I got all kinds of stories. I've had this crazy life. And I'm starting to feel like maybe I should share it. So that's it for now. Hope you guys have a great afternoon, and it's almost Halloween, so stay out of the woods, because there's some really scary, awful, like real life creatures in there that will be happy to slit your throat if you're not careful, if you're not doing stupid dares with other teenagers that maybe I'll tell you about next time. I'm out.